Hello, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included on this tipped over asteroid, which they call the lab. So what do I have for us today? I want to upgrade two things, water and power situation. On the power side, it's not so much power production. I've got that from these gold volcanoes down here when I put in these two steam turbines. I'm referring to the wiring. I'm looking at some of this. I'm like, what is this? Okay, I have just not had the opportunity to clean up some of these lines. The other thing is the power plant, or the early power plant, is right next to the living area. Now, early game, that made sense. At this point, I want more recreations and bedrooms to be put in. So that power plant needs to go. So that is some of the upgrades on the power side of things. Also want to upgrade water, because my whole water consumption relies on this one guy here, a water sieve. And if this isn't producing enough water, well, we don't have enough water, or if the polluted water here gets to be too cold, and it is starting to approach freezing. Should notice a little bit of an effect. Yeah, you notice a bit of an effect. This guy can't handle things correctly if it's fed frozen polluted water, or what would be frozen ice when it gets out of that zone. So I've got to handle that situation. Now, that's not a water sourcing issue, because I've got plenty of polluted water for that to be able to handle. Actually, maybe even which I should dig this out a little bit as it starts to fill up. And I've got even more water down here that comes from the other asteroid, and that's starting to fill up down here. So maybe even digging out, this would be an option. I changed the path so dupes can no longer get down in this area, so maybe what I'll do is I'll make... gotta be careful, because when water gets too high... No, we've got lots of area to dig up. Let's get our dupes down here. And we can work on enhancing our water storage area. Anyway, that's the plan for this cycle. If I have time today, I would also like to put in a rec room and a little bit of decoration, but we'll see how we go. Let's start with power. Rover seem to be stuck on this side, almost as if they can't jump over this tube. Oh, maybe it's the fact... No, it's not that. It's the fact that they can't jump over two of these things to get the ladder. They can't use the fire pole. Now I should be seeing rovers. Yeah, they're going up to get some stuff, probably, to do some construction. Okay. Alright. So just realized I put up this tube here, which is convenient for the dupes to be able to get up. But the rovers aren't able to get over on this side to help out with some of the construction. Anyway, I built a power plant up here. This is the hydrogen power plant. It does have the manual generators in it, but hoping they're not actually going to be needed. So I can now start the deconstruction of these guys. So this is the 12th dupe. Haven't taken on a new dupe in a while. Kind of forgot about that. But there is pilots. They're interested in rocketry and building, and they're also handy. So now we're up to a dozen dupes to build this thing. Over here, just having the coolant line go around there. It's going to be particularly important if my power plant is now going to be up here. You can see my rovers are now have access. I'll switch the ladder over to be on this side, so I'm going to put the fire pole back, but this time on the left side. I really like the fact that you can actually build on top of it, and the game will change it out. It never used to do that. There was an update way back that did that. Anyway, random piece of information. So with this power plant up here, I'm able to get rid of this power plant. And I decided I might as well take the hydrogen that's in this old cooling line. It used to send hydrogen in this zone to cool the base. And that became not really that useful after I have this line in, actually. Let's connect this guy in. So just have liquid cooling go through the base. Take the hydrogen from the old line, Might as well burn that. I thought I would just destroy it all, and then this thing could pump it back up. But why do that since it's already pumped in a pipe? Might as well just direct it towards these guys right away for power use. So move the location for the rock crusher. This is now down here. Figured anytime I produce lime, just having it drop down here, and that's the input to the metal refinery. Also gets it out of the central area, just on top of that power plant, so I can get rid of this zone. These transformers that are here, now I'm going to go through my circuitry and try to make a plan. This is a mess. I definitely would not mind having this cleaned up, so I will start tackling that now. Just realized something about the large power transformer. It lets out 4,000 watts of power. That is too much for even a conductive wire, which can only hold 2. So looking at this particular line, even though this one can hold 2, there's not a lot on it at the moment anyways. Just the telescope and Atmos suits. So I'm going to actually put this as a small transformer just to protect it. Put that right here. But if I want to have it the full amount of 2, I would actually, and have it safe, it almost seems like I would have to have 2 transformers pushing power to it. Which I'm not going to do in this case just because I don't think there's a need. Anyway, I'll have to have a think about that because I've been using large power transformers thinking that it's going to be safe for a conductive wire, but it actually is not. So that was definitely a change that happened at some point in this game, which I did not notice until just now. So there is the first transformer off this new power plant. So that is delivering power in the top part of my base, way over here, where the nuclear, or natural gas rather, zone is, and just a tiny bit of stuff around this zone. So let's take care of the central base in terms of those messy power lines. Got meteorites on the way. Because I have a telescope, I know that they're going to be there in 1.4 cycles. I have to decide, do I want, or should I, destroy the telescope to avoid damage? Maybe I will do that just out of abundance of caution. Was able to print some slug eggs, so decided I'll have them stored here. I just realized I don't have the power power line going around the right location to get their power. There we go. Just going to do a change over here so that I actually have this pump with heavy watt wire system. Okay, here's just one of the crazy paths. I've got a wire like this, visiting things that don't take much power, and I could have just rerouted this down like this. So just a bunch of cleanup to do around here. All kinds of stuff just ignoring, as other priorities were occurring at the time. But now I've got lots of calories, lots of oxygen. Let's improve things in this base before we go to some of the other requirements I want to get to later on. Speaking of which, the dupes are doing some research. They're researching the research reactor. And that's going to be something that I'm going to be doing. But I want to do a little bit of enhancement around the base. The dupes have been working hard. They deserve a little bit of decoration around the base. So meteorites are here. This is just the slime version. But I was able to get rid of my building here. That may have taken some damage at that moment. I'm just curious, though, whether anything else is going to take damage or get into this area. Looks like this particular tile. I'm glad I went a little bit further than just one or two. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on that. While I'm here, just removing some of the egg processing stuff I had. Had this set up initially for 5 different types of critters, but I'm not going to rely on hatches anymore for food. Thanks to pepper red that's going to be growing here, some ingredients growing here and down in here. That's with sleet wheat. So I've got some circuitry in here that's a little bit difficult to get at unless you do a little bit of changes, so I'm going to do that. At least get rid of what I don't need before I dig into this zone. So I changed my circuitry around now. Got rid of the transformers that were in the center area of my base. And I've got a top line here which is visiting the telescope. That is a transformer right here. Then I have another transformer down here, and that is serving the central area of my base, as well as a long column that goes out here. Still have an old circuitry line that I'm just going to leave alone for the time being. That's visiting teleportation equipment and the pumps around the farm. And finally, I have a new transformer just above the rock crusher, and I'm calling this the oil circuit. That's visiting the kitchen and all the oil-based industry stuff over here. So with that out of the way, now let's direct our attention to producing water a little bit more efficiently. Well, not necessarily efficiently, but be able to handle more water intake when the demand starts to go up. So let's work on a water upgrade. So this is the area I chose to do my water processing. That's going to be converting polluted water, brine, and salt water to regular water that I'll be able to use within the base. So this is the first stage of the new water system. We're going to have 2 water sieves, 2 desalinators, and that's going to allow us to be able to keep up with our water demand for the future. Pumping some water up to this zone. What I'm essentially going to be doing is warming up this liquid, and as any of the liquid that I bring in, whether it be polluted water, brine, or anything like that, it's going to have a chance to warm up above freezing before it goes into any of these machines. That's going to be a very important step to start off with. So just build in a water selection or liquid selection area. First one is selecting water. If it is, it's going to go right here into the water bucket. It's then going to look for brine or salt water. If so, it's going to put that through the desalinator and then get into the water line. Otherwise, it's going to look for polluted water and send that up here and then ultimately become water. So everything is basically converging to water and being sent into this liquid reservoir. If it's neither of that, I'm not expecting this case. So that's why I'm going to put this hydro sensor, and if it detects anything, it's just going to send me a message here. I'll call it strange liquid. That could possibly be ethanol that may find its way at the bottom of my water storage. I don't see anything like that right now, but that'll be there. Oh yeah, forgot. I blocked the dupes from being able to come down here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll get them to be able to go out, because it looks like we're in need of digging out more space for liquid to be able to accumulate. We're getting that from the other asteroid. So the water situation is looking pretty good right now. Just watch the first liquid go through this. So a little bit of water happens to be there first, so nothing needs to be converted, therefore the water should be going up in this direction. That's looking healthy. Once that gets through, the polluted water should not be going up, it should not be going into the desalinators. It should be going here to the water sieve. Excellent. And when this thing gets a little bit too full, then I've got a signal that'll go down and shut this whole system off. This little thermo sensor needs to be put in, and this section is complete. That is our water system. Giving us new water. All I need to do now is actually direct the water from here to the actual base. Last of the polluted water is going through this old water sieve. We can now get rid of that and expect only clean water to make its way through here, so we'll make a connector between that. And Just a few more pipes to be installed here, and that's going to be directing that water up into my new system to provide water for my base. There it goes. Okay, so that is power and water. The dupes did hear that there might be a chance of a little bit of decorating and possibly a recreation room, so I will end this episode on that. So added some decoration around the washroom. That is now at maximum value thanks to some gold tiles. Now we'll put in a rec room before we leave for today. So the dupes, well I should say the rovers, are working on some private bedrooms and a recreation room down here. So the dupes will actually have a place to enjoy, listen to some music and dance. And I don't know which dupes are going to get these ones, they can fight over it. I'm just going to make sure that I get 2 decorations in each one of these so they count as a private bedroom. And oh, look at this. Something to unlock. It is a... oh, I could hit print. Oh, that's a charcoal gray. Oh, actually, I might use that. That's kind of neat. Sometimes those are useful things. Saved a spot here for a future nature reserve. And I don't have the research yet for video games, but we'll put that in soon, dupes. I think that is where we'll end. Let's have a look. What have we done? We've upgraded the electrical circuits, got rid of the power station and some of the other industrial equipment that was around here to make room for some a little bit more of a luxury living for the dupes. And this is just the beginning. We're going to continue on that. So just got better, better looking wire circuits than the mess I had before. Now I also have heavy watt wires going in behind here. That's just gonna still have them here for this laboratory, but I'm gonna remove this laboratory, just sort of aiming with the idea of not having heavy watt wires around the actual living area just for decoration purposes. And then the other thing is we get this new water facility that's going to take in water, make sure it's not going to freeze when it gets converted to water. Select what it is, whether it needs to be treated with the desalinator, with the water sieve, and if so, and either way, it's going to send water here, and that's going to ultimately go to the base. Alright, so 2 major things done and a little bit of decoration in place for the dupes to enjoy. Thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully I will see you in a future episode where I'll continue on advancing this space. Until then.